near the foothills of the Khyber Pass. They came to witness escape for the city's prison, which lies near the foothills of the Khyber Pass. They came to witness one of the first gestures of the new Soviet-installed government of Babrak Kemal, a release of 2,000 prisoners. To a population confused by the massive Soviet presence, it was a skillful political act. Some of the expectant relatives and friends cheered as a Soviet helicopter gunship circled the prison. But others were less persuaded, throwing stones at Russian and Afghan troops when asked to show patience and stand back. Suddenly they were released, and there was a long column of free men heading for the main gates. The sparse possessions of prison life were carried in blankets and metal boxes. Others clutched pots and pans that had seen them through the past 20 months. When relatives were located, there were emotional scenes. But as the prisoners reached the outer gates, the remainder of the crowd burst in, some impatient for the awaited reunion, but many others searching desperately for news of lost friends. Prisoners who had disappeared under the past regimes of President Taraki and Amin. And for some, there was the sorrow of a wasted journey. Others pressed against the gates of the cell block, hoping that inside held the key to what had happened to their missing relatives. A few prisoners were not released at all. They shouted messages to their disappointed relatives who stood outside. Even though there was much celebration, some of the prisoners themselves appeared cautious about what the new life under the Russians would entail. After last week's coup, there can be few more popular gestures than the release of political prisoners, and it's clearly intended to solidify support behind the new regime. And the fact that these thousands of people were invited here is clearly an indication of the need of support for that new regime. But the Russians will have to do more than this if they are to pacify the mountain people.